We're back to Neil Haley Show and also the Media Giant Effect. And I'm excited about our guest today. And I think that we talk about going through trauma and difficulties and challenges in our lives. And it's not just losing loved ones, things happen. We have tough things that happen to us in our lives. And sometimes it takes us very time to recover. Sometimes it takes forever. And we have to be able to go through that. And my guest today, Coach Nita Beshear, is going to go into that. Nita, how are you? Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, it's it's going to be a good day.
Absolutely. So let's kind of just jump into it, Nita. Tell me how you became a coach and why you decided to coach to help people through these things.
Okay, I became a coach after my husband died, and I was floundering and trying to figure out what to do. And I was determined that I would not depend on my kids. And as I figured my way out, I realized there were other people, first of all, widows who needed to figure out how do I move forward. And then I looked around and said, people lose their job, they lose other loved ones, they lose their home, and they get stuck in the past. And that's when I transitioned a little bit to helping people get past the yuck and get out of the debris of their past.
Yeah, and getting out of the debris of their past, the past, the past, the past. It always, and sometimes subconsciously happens, the past comes back and creeps up again at you. Kind of explain that to me. Where you like certain past experiences lead to why we do things today. And we try to stop it, but it just happens.
It does. And a lot of times people will think, I want it like it was. But the truth is, nothing is like it was. Today isn't like it was yesterday, even without the trauma. And so that's the first thing is I help them realize that every day is a different day. Every day has new challenges. And when the past, and sometimes you do have to just sit and cry over what you lost, what's no longer here, whether it was a memento or a loved one or your job. But then don't stay there. Cry and wipe your eyes out, wash your face, and say, okay, next step, and move forward.
And that's key. Move forward from that. So I'm like, wow. It just makes me think about this that when whatever's happened in the past, let it go, or at least let it go as much as you can.
Right.
And just not say, I wish things were the way they were. I wish something was like this. I wish I had this opportunity again. Go forward, move forward, because if you keep bringing it back up in your mind, what happens to the person if they constantly are going back to the past?
Well, first of all, they live in the past. And one of the things I try to remind people is, okay, so you want, in my case, I wanted my husband back alive, right?
Yeah.
But suppose he was, would he be sick, which he had been sick when he died? So would I want him back sick? The dream is you give your previous life, but you get it on steroids and better. But it's not necessarily going to be that way. So think about what would have happened if you had your previous life, but it wasn't as good as you remembered it or as you wanted it to be. What would you have done differently? What would you do differently? And just learn from the experience, learn from the things that take the knowledge of what you learned from the previous experience and let it help you move forward.
So I'm liking this. This is stuff you definitely need to write. I'm sure you have written down in different places, but I'm going to think about what you taught me today,
Okay,
Nita,
good.
because I'm telling you, I'm going to think about specifically enough when I go back and say, oh, I wish the days of this, or why isn't it like it was before, and say, would I really want it now? Or is it just me trying to control life? We
Right.
can control the future in our actions. We can control the present in our actions, but we sure as heck can't control the past.
No, we can't control
And
this.
that's the thing in your mind when you make a decision, you make something that you put out there. Say, are you really thinking about the past in that decision, or the future, or the present? And really look at that. And so where do you think's best focus? Present or future or both?
I think the best focus is present with an eye towards the future. I mean, you want to have something to anticipate. You want to have something to look forward to. You want to have some place to go. You don't want to say, okay, I'm going to live right here, right now, today, and tomorrow will be what tomorrow is. Have something to look forward to. It will help today. And have something, have a goal. I call them goals. They're not necessarily goals. It could be, you might be planning a trip. That's not necessarily a goal, but it's something you look forward to. Maybe you and some friends are going. And you can be planning for that. You can be saving money for that. And so live in the present, but have an eye at the future, and have something to anticipate.
So Nita, where's the best place we can find more info on you? Where can we go?
I'm on Facebook, Adventures in Widowhood, and I have a link there where if you want to talk to me more in depth about this, you can make an appointment to have a 30-minute visit with me.
Appreciate it, Nita. Great conversation. Couple of those points. I recommend everyone go back to a couple things that Nita said that are could be life changing for you in a way when it pops into our conscience. We subconsciously do things, but when it pops into our conscience, we can remove it. Then we have to evaluate, are we doing certain things subconsciously based on the past? So appreciate it, Nita.
Thank you very much. I had a great time. I
I
appreciate
did
being
too.
here.
All right. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.